Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. This is Diana Mayfield, Head of Content here at Design Files. I'm here with Sarah Adnan, marketer turned designer. She's going to teach us all about her favorite sales-focused Instagram tactics so that we can actually get leads from Instagram instead of just followers. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Where are you calling in from?
I am calling in from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. I usually, when I'm talking to people that are not in Canada, I usually just say Toronto because that's a city that everyone recognizes. But I am here in Mississauga, it's become quite a metropolitan itself. Like it's huge now. So
Nice.
that's where I am calling from.
Awesome. We definitely have some Canadian designers with us, I'm sure. Everybody drop us a comment. Let us know what's going on, where you're at. And as we go through the workshop, make sure to also drop your comments and questions so that we can get to them during Q&A. And Sarah, I am going to let you hop into the slides. So
Okay.
your video will still show. So your face will still show with your slides, just so you know. And then I'll hop off and I'll come back at the end for Q&A.
Okay. So I will present my screen then right now, or do I not need to do that anymore? Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, that is perfect.
Okay, awesome. So today I'm going to be walking you guys through something that is, I guess, on a lot of people's minds, and that is how do we actually take on more of a sales driven approach to our Instagram strategy, right? Because we have this organic social media platform where you see a lot of interior designers creating their portfolio, using it as their brand awareness, but also using it as a platform to generate leads that hopefully will then convert into sales. Now, there is a little bit of a rhythm and a rhyme to it because I specifically come from a marketing background, so I thought it would be quite valuable to share some of the tips that I've implemented in my own business, and hopefully, if you guys apply them, you can see value from that as well. So let's jump right into it. So today's main topics that I want to cover are first and foremost, who am I? A little bit of a background on myself, how I got started. Then we're going to jump into why you should care about this specific topic. If you are on Instagram already, or if you're not on Instagram and are just figuring out how to get started, this is something that you're going to go over as to why should you really care. Then we're going to talk about the difference between organic versus paid because it's important to distinguish those two. And then lastly, we're going to get more into depth about the different tactics that you can use to shift your content towards a more sales focused approach. And this way, build a sales funnel, which then hopefully can bring more revenue and more clientele for your business. Okay. So let's get started on myself. My name is Sarah Adnan, and it says here Hamilton, Ontario, because I've recently moved there. We purchased our forever home. We started a family. We have a newborn baby, so we needed the space. So we are in Hamilton. However, today I'm tuning in from Mississauga, which is where my parents live. So I consider myself a marketing expert because I went to school in marketing. I specialized my degree there. I went to the University of Toronto. And soon after I graduated, I jumped into the corporate world and I worked for about 7 years as a marketing manager there. So I've worked for reputable brands such as Nikon Canada, TELUS Mobility, which is a pretty big telecommunications company here. And I've also worked in a startup space. So there was a food delivery service here in Toronto that I helped build the brand presence for. So I know a little bit a thing or two about what it means to market yourself. I'm also a YouTuber. So the way that my journey started was in 2020, when the pandemic had just first started. I decided that I wanted to pursue something that I was really passionate about. And interior design was something that was always in the back of my mind. And right when the pandemic started and everything shut down and everyone was working from home, I was like, this is the best time for me to go back to school and complete my education in interior design. And as I started doing that, I basically just turned on the camera and I started documenting my journey, everything that I was learning, mainly because I found that when I was looking online, I didn't really find much of the resources or help to get me started. And so I thought, you know what, whatever I'm learning, let's put it out there into the world and see how it goes. And thankfully, a lot of people had good reception towards it. I have a lot of international audience who watch my videos, who are, hey, Sarah, I'm stuck in an accounting world and I want to become a designer. What do I do? So that's been kind of my YouTube journey. And now I am a designer and a business owner of my company, which is called the Elevated Living Design Studio. As I mentioned, I completed my schooling from the Interior Design Institute, which is an online course. And I have made an excessive video on that as well, because I get a lot of questions around what your schooling was like. And, did you go back to school full time? So we can cover all those in the end if you have any questions regarding that. Okay, so why should you care? So it's important to consider Instagram not just as a visual platform, but also as a platform that will help you generate a stream for your business. And the reason for that is that we all know that there are so many users that are active on Instagram, right? We have around 1 billion, and this is according to the most recent Google statistics, is that there are around 1 billion users on Instagram. And 70% of those users have reported to discover new products, right? So I'm sure you guys have all experienced when you're scrolling, you get a sponsored ad about like earrings or shoes, and it says shop now or go to this page or redeem this offer. And I have definitely accepted those offers and I have checked out. I remember one time I was in the market for a blow dryer and I, saw this offer and I was like, okay, great. Like I'm not going to spend that much money on the Dyson one. I'll just buy this one. And I was able to, complete the process. So from a product standpoint, it's definitely a platform where you can make a lot of sales. Now, obviously we are in the service side of the business. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we can convert service as well into a revenue generating stream. The other reason why you should care about Instagram is, I know for the purpose of this workshop, we're going to be focusing on a sales approach, but if we were to look at Instagram as a platform to create your presence, of course, it is something that is the best, right? Because you are able to authenticate yourself as a designer. You're able to be original with what you post. You're able to share about, what your favorite coffee order is from, Tim Hortons or from Starbucks. And those are the things that actually help build a lot of trust among the people that are following you, right? If you look at influencers, why are influencers so big on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube? It's because they're sharing so much of their life and they're just trying to build that credibility with their audience and say that, hey, I'm an expert at X. However, in my downtime or on my weekends, I like to go rock climbing. I like to do this. And that's how you get a full package around your brand presence. And you're just building those brownie points with the audience that you're generating, right? So that's the other main reason why we should care. Okay. Let's talk about organic versus paid. So some of you guys may already know what this means, but just a little bit of a background. When it comes to Instagram or any other platform, we want to understand, what does it really mean for it to be organic, right? So organic is basically when you don't have to pay any money towards what you are doing. So and when I say money, I'm not talking about time, because I know when we're doing organic, we're spending so much time and it's just like time is money as well. But we're talking about the monetary value. So so we want to distinguish, when we set up our Instagram page, what are we doing on a daily basis to drive likes, drive comments, drive followers, and also find information about your industry on Instagram and follow those channels that you like. So that's all organic, right? You're going every day, you have a little bit of a schedule. You're using different types of tools to help plan your schedule from ahead of time so that you don't feel so overwhelmed, because I do hear from a lot of people, and I experienced this myself, that managing social media is a full-time job, especially if you're someone who is not who hasn't been so involved on social media, and then now you're having to jump into social media for your business. It can be a lot, right? So there are tools available that help you plan your content ahead of time, that help you schedule them so that you're not on your phone all the time. You have like a good 1 week's worth of content scheduled, and at certain times of the day it just does it on their own. And again, if you have questions around that, I can definitely suggest some of the tools that I've used and I really like. We can talk about that later. So that's what I mean by organic, is that you're going every day, spending your own time to like posts, to comment on different posts, upload your own content, and of course, seeing how your followers can rise. In terms of paid, so I have a little bit of a really high level chart that breaks down like cost and engagement from organic versus paid standpoint. So as I mentioned, for a cost, it's free, but it's time consuming. So, if you're someone who's a mom and you have three, or one or two or three or more kids, you might feel like it's, oh my God, this is a lot. But as I mentioned, there are tools that can help you reduce some of that time. So one thing I do want to mention, and I don't want to make it sound all glamorous and, oh, like it's so easy and fun. I do want to, validate the point that designers who, in this workshop, there could be many designers who already have a clientele, right? Let's say you're someone who's been working in the industry for about 3 to 5 years, and you got most of your business through word of mouth. You started, with one bathroom renovation for someone, and then they referred you, and that's how you were able to build a clientele. So for designers such as those, it might be frustrating for you to start an Instagram page and create this whole strategy, right? Because you're like, I'm already getting the clients that I need. Why do I need to spend so much of my time to build something that from scratch? So what I'm going to be talking about in the next few slides in terms of the tactics, it's more so beneficial and helpful for designers who are starting out, who are, still in school, or those who haven't even thought about starting a business, but just want to soak in all of the information and knowledge that is available online. Because we have, we see so much inspiration. We see, nice pictures of bathrooms and living rooms and custom built homes. So that's all stimulating your brain to think better, to ideate better, to come up with your own design style. So, when I was starting out on Instagram, and I'm one of those people who didn't like social media at all. I must say that even now, social media is not something that I'm so passionate about. It's something that I do for my business because I know it's going to help me. But from when I was starting out, I remember I would follow all these designers that I really liked. I would follow Architect Digest. I would follow tiny home accounts and just get so much inspiration from the stuff that I was seeing. And with that inspiration, I was able to actually craft what my own aesthetic would look like. So as a designer today, whatever projects that you see on my website, you're going to notice that it has, a consistent overall look and theme. And it obviously took time for me to get there. But in the initial stages, when I was still in school and I was posting the stuff that I was learning from other people as well on what type of design aesthetic I can make as original to me. So that's something that's also quite helpful for people who are starting out on Instagram. In terms of engagement, so this is one thing that actually, you know what, let me talk about the cost in the paid section. So in comparison, paid is of course the money that you spend on the advertisement on Instagram. And you can do that. You can go in the settings and you can, decide that there is a specific post on your feed that you want to boost, and it becomes a sponsored ad. And it allows you to set the budget and the number of days in which you want to make that ad active. So it's quite easy. It makes the process very simple for someone who's just starting out. So it's really good if you want to get immediate results, right? As soon as you post an ad, you're going to see your number of likes, go up. You're going to see a lot of people liking your stuff. You're going to see a lot of people commenting it. But you might not see a lot of people following your account. Okay. And this is something that I'm going to talk about in the engagement side of things. So this paid version is definitely better suited for businesses who are selling a one-time product. Like I mentioned with the blow dryer, right? I saw a sponsored ad. I saw that it had an offer. I looked at it and I checked out and off I went, right? I didn't go back and follow that account. I didn't go back and like and comment their post. I just purchased a product that they were selling and I was moved on to the next thing, right? It's a one-click purchase. So that's where paid can help you if that's what you're aiming for. In terms of engagement, so in an organic setting, when you are engaging with people every day, you're going online, you're posting, you're commenting, you're liking, you're able to build a long-term community, right? And what I mean by that is someone who, let's say, follows your account today and sees that you're consistently posting online and you're giving them value. And what I mean by value is you're going online as a designer and you're saying, hey, today I learned that Sherwin-Williams just launched their 2025, color collection, and they are predicting that burgundy is going to be color of the year. Right? So this is information that as a designer you have, and you're sharing it with your audience, which allows them to be like, oh, you know what? This girl, she actually shared a really good tip. I think I'm going to continue following her. Or I think I'm going to, turn on the notifications for her so that every time she posts something about home design or renovation, I get that information. So that way you're able to retain that follower that you've just gained for a longer period of time, which is what matters the most. And it's quite valuable as you're building your brand presence. So that's why I've mentioned over here that you build your trust and you increase your follower count, which then builds your credibility. Okay. So that's why organic engagement is so important. Now we go over to the paid engagement. So like I mentioned, if you sponsor or if you boost a post on your page, you're going to be able to reach your targeted audience pretty fast, right? So when you go in your settings and you are boosting an ad, you're actually able to set the parameters around the audience that you want to target. So do you want to target, a young audience, so ages 20 and up, or are you trying to target an audience that is a bit older? Obviously, for designers and our business, we want to target an audience that is well established, because interior design is a luxury service. It's not a DIY service. We are professionals. We are experts. We went to school for this. We learn about the color theory. We learn about the golden ratio, scale, and proportion. These are all the things that we are an expert at. And so when we offer that service, we want to make sure that we're targeting an audience that can, afford that service or afford that complete renovation package. So you're able to set those parameters, and you might notice that with those parameters, you might gain the followers, right away. But then you might notice that in a week or 2 weeks, those followers might drop, because those followers may not be loyal to your page. Why? Because they don't trust you yet, right? So you want to generate followers that are loyal and ongoing. And again, it all depends on the goals that you set for yourself. If you're the type of designer who has set a paid type of goal, then by all means go towards that direction. And if that's working for you, then that's amazing, right? We want to, on Instagram, experiment with different tactics and techniques and see whatever works for us. If we find that organic is what's working for us, okay, great, we're going to continue doing that. But if we find that we're getting better value out of a paid post, amazing, let's continue doing that as well. Okay, so that's a little bit of the organic and paid section. Now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into how you can create a more sales-driven content, because we've talked a lot about just like information around what Instagram is and what we can do there, but how do we actually turn our content, shift the gears towards a more sales approach, so that the next time someone who's following you thinks of deciding their thinks of renovating their home, they think of you before they think of anyone else, right? That's the main goal, is that we want to keep your name, your face, and your company brand at the front of these prospects who are following you, so that when they decide to actually hire someone, they only come to you and they don't get confused with the other designers that they follow. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about these four main tactics. So let's talk about the first one. The first one, I would encourage everyone who is on Instagram, and this is something not just for experienced designers, okay? This is even for someone who is in school, because I did this for myself. When I was studying with the Interior Design Institute and I was, completing my assignments and my tasks, I followed this rule, and it definitely helped me acquire my very first project. And I will talk about that as well. Show the process. What do we mean by showing the process? So as a student or as a designer, there's a lot of things that you're doing behind the scenes, right? A lot of people think that, oh, when you're a designer, you just do la la la, you pick up paint color, you go to the paint store and you do this. Well, there's actually a lot of things that we do, right? We learn how to, for example, create an electrical plan. And when we're creating an electrical plan, we have to learn about the standards and guides of the areas in which we are residing. And for example, if you're creating outlet and switch plan for your kitchen, you want to make sure, okay, if this switch is next to the fridge, or if this switch is by the sink, like, does it need to be water certified? These are the things that we learn and we think of when we are designing. Just one of the many things. So I want you guys to always think about that and try to capture those things as you are doing them. So if you're creating a floor plan, take out your phone, just record you drawing with your hand a floor plan. Or you're trying to put it on a computer, take out your phone, record, or even screen record your computer how you're creating the floor plan. The other things that you can show are, how do you put a presentation together, right? So let's say you are, let's say you're working on a project, and this is also something that students who don't have projects yet can also do. So let's say as a student, you have an assignment, and the assignment has been given to you to create a living room floor plan and submit it, right? So document and record that. How do you design that? What does that presentation look like? Do you use Canva to put your presentations together? Are you using PowerPoint? All these behind the scene things that you're doing should be able to show the person who is following you about how much hard work and effort you put into your design. And the other reason why I think this is so important is because I remember when I had first started the company after completing my school, I had made a few friends online who were also starting their design journey. So these were, designers within the greater Toronto area that were in the similar position as me and who were starting their brand. And I started following what they were posting, right? Just to get an idea of like, okay, like, what are some of the things that you're doing? And I remember one of the designers who created her page, she would post detailed drawings on a regular basis. And from person who was looking from the outside, I felt that that was so valuable, because even if I was, let's say, a prospect, if I was a homeowner and I was looking to renovate my bathroom, I would hire her immediately, because I would be able to see the level of detail that that designer used to create a layout of the tile, how the subway alignment should be, how fine the grout lines should be. Everything was documented in her drawings, and she showed that on her Instagram. So it definitely helps build that trust. So I'm going to show you an example. I'm just going to exit out of this presentation, and I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by the process. So let's refresh this page. This is one of the videos that I had posted. I'm going to go back on my page here. Oops, sorry. So if we go to Elevated Living by Sarah, which is my Instagram page, you're going to see this post here, and it's called Concept to Reality. So this is a project that I actually completed 2 years ago. But as you can see, I've posted it again in a different format, which shows not just the before and after pictures, but it shows actually how this concept came into fruition. Okay, so we're going to watch this video. So it shows you from concept to reality, started with the drawings, what it looked like from A, B, C, D. Then it went off into the finishes, right? So here I'm showing, oh, like when I share my concept with a client, I'm actually sharing every single shop link for them, which shows the cost, it shows the quantity, and it gives them well, you can't see it here, obviously, because of the proportion, but there's a link here where clients can click and purchase. And of course, this is used through Design Files, which is one of the best, or I should say the best mood boarding / design programs that I've ever used. So this was created on Design Files, this mood board and everything. But it shows the client that this is what they can expect to receive when they work with me. And then here's a before, here's an after, here's another after picture, and then a before and an after. And then this is kind of like your complete before and after situation. Okay. Now let's look at the caption. So in the caption, sometimes I find, and this is more so with established designers, because obviously they're so big, they have such a big clientele that they don't need to think about these things. But for us, if we're trying to build more clients and grow our business, we really need to do this, okay? We need to create a detailed caption about what we are posting. Because sometimes I see people just posting, oh, Friday inspiration, and then that's it, that's their caption. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to talk in detail about what we are posting. So for this one particularly, I mentioned over here that the lack of counter space in the existing bathroom was an issue for our clients. So we gave them an L-shaped countertop from this company that extended over the toilet from the vanity. So I'm talking a little bit again about the process, right? Like, we didn't just show up one day and say, oh, I'm going to pick this tile and I'm going to do this and I'm going to put this shower in there. There's always a reason behind everything that we do as designers. Why? Because we are problem solvers. But I would say more than designers, we are problem solvers. And so, we want to share that with our audience. We want to tell our clients that, hey, like if you hire me, I'm going to make sure that whatever issues you're having every day with your current space, it's going to be gone. Like, I'm here to get rid of that issue and give you the dream space that you've been looking for. Let's go to another example. So this example is, let's go back to my reels here. So this is something that I recently did. This reel, it's called Come With Me on a Site Visit. So this, of course, was something that I felt would be valuable for people who are following me online, because I noticed that I was getting a lot of messages from potential homeowners that were asking me, if I hire you, would you come to a site visit? Would you come and look at the space, and et cetera, because these are the questions that of course they have. And if you go on my website, you're not going to get an essay showing, oh, step 1, I actually come to your house. Step 2, I do the measurements. Like, obviously you're not going to find that information. So I decided, why not put it together in a reel format, so that whoever's asking me this question, I can just send them this video and they'll get a really good picture of what a consultation would look like if they were to hire me. Okay, so let's click and watch this video. Oh, let's put some music. All right. So that was an example. Okay. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, most of the time I'm going alone to these homes and I don't have anyone to take my video. Okay, I know this is one of my biggest points of frustration, because most of the time I am going home. I am going alone to these consultations, and sometimes I'm like propping my camera like on a countertop and like putting books behind it and then pressing the record so it can record me. But as you're starting out, just ask a friend or ask a sibling to come accompany you to one of these site visits, because you want to gather as much footage as you can, and use that footage over the course of multiple videos, right? You don't have to use everything that you've captured in one day in one video. You can, take some of the videos that you took in one reel and then use some of the other footage for another reel. So you can do that as well. But it's always worth investing, or asking a friend or family member or a sibling to be like, hey, I'm going to this person's house for a 2-hour site visit. Can you just please come with me and just record me as I talk to them, as I show them samples, as I ideate with them, and as I take measurements? Because that kind of footage is really, really valuable. So that's just the other example that I wanted to talk about. Okay. Let's go into the second. Let's present this again here. Okay, so the second tactic that I want you guys to all start using as of today, because it's a very easy tactic to implement, is called sales language. So what I mean by using a sales language is using the right keywords and terms that put yourself forward as a salesperson. So in a nutshell, don't be afraid to sell yourself, okay? Because a lot of times designers or even other people who have any other type of business, they hesitate in like really boasting about themselves and being like, I'm the best, hire me, right? Of course, you don't want to be obnoxious and someone who comes off as arrogant, but you do want to be that person who is confident in your services, and you should be able to sell yourself in the language that you're using online, right? So you want to say things like, hire me for your bathroom renovation, or I'm offering free consultation for the next 1 month. Call me right now to book yours, right? So these are the type of urgent driven language that you want to use in your captions, in your stories, or even like, you want to, let's say one day you're at a towel store, right? You're shopping for towel. Just go on your stories and be like, hey, I'm at this beautiful towel company. They have so many different samples. If you want to know where I am, definitely send me a direct message and I'll be happy to share the location with you, right? So you're giving them a call to action that way. And you want to constantly think about that in your head, like every time. Well, I shouldn't say every time because it can get really overwhelming, but while you are creating content, while you are gathering content, just always think about, what is my call to action in the end? What can I say? What can I do to make the person who is following me have this sense of urgency that, hey, like I need to reach out to this girl right now. Like I'm having such a tough time with my bathroom. Like I think she can help me. Let me book this free consultation call with her. Okay, so that's what I mean by sales language. And again, I'm going to share some examples with you. I'm just going to close this one, and I'm going to use this one as an example. So this was a post that I put up around a presentation that we had, some of the design plans that we had presented to our client. And they're just a bunch of pictures of what the layout was like, what we did, some 3D pictures, some 3D models. So basically like a whole package of what the renovation would look like. And these are all drawings that were approved by the client. And then this is a mood board, which again was created on Design Files, that shows the different finishes, furnishings, and decor that we had chosen for them. This is option 1, this is option 2, and then this is their TV media unit that we had created. Now let's look at the caption, okay? So in the caption, I have chosen very sales-driven language. So I'm telling the audience, maybe this is someone who's not even interested in my service, but it's fine. We want to make sure that we speak to everyone and anyone. So I'm saying that our design services offer a complete package to our clients that have design concepts presented in 3D, detailed elevation drawings, along with a carefully selected shopping list of what and where to buy. So just in that paragraph, I basically summarized not only what we offer, which is an e-design service, a design package, but I've also explain to them in this package, this is what you get. So when you hire me, you can expect to receive this. And then I finish off the caption by saying, reach out to us for a quote of your next renovation, or simply use the link in our bio to book us for a one-time consultation conducted in your home. So these types of call to actions are really important to put in your caption, because a lot of the times designers forget to do that. We forget to we share all this like inspiration, we share all of the projects and works that we do, but we forget to tie it all back to our sales funnel, right? We want to keep reminding the people that are watching us that we are a business. We offer this service in your neighborhood, we do this, and that when you are ready, you come back to us and you hire us for this project. Okay, then the other so that was my other example. Now I'm going to present again, and we're going to talk about the third tactic. And the third tactic is talk about your services. And I know I touched a little bit upon this as well, but this is what I really mean. So sometimes when I give my coaching services to designers, I get asked this question all the time they ask me this question: how do I tell my clients that I'm offering X, Y, and Z? Or how can I figure out what I'm offering? Okay. So my answer to that, as always, I first always ask them, okay, let's visit your Instagram page. So I take a look at the Instagram page, and I scroll through their feed and I see what they're posting. And most of the time I realize that the services that they want to offer are not being communicated through their page. So if I'm visiting your page and I'm not able to really distinguish what exactly you do or what exactly you offer, why would I ever hire you, right? I'm just going to get confused. I'm going to close the page and I'm going to move on to the next one. So if you are someone, and I'm just using this as an example scenario, if you are a designer who loves doing kitchens, right? You are super passionate about kitchen designs, and you even worked for like a millwork company as as a beginning job. You are working for a kitchen cabinet company, and you've been doing the drawings. So you're really familiar with the kitchen space. If that's you, then I want your Instagram page to be talking 80% of the content about kitchens. Okay. So that if I'm the homeowner who wants to get their kitchen renovated, I would come to you rather than come to Sarah at elevatedliving.ca, right? Because if you come to my page, you're barely going to see any kitchens, because I don't do kitchens. Maybe once in a while here and there, if the client is really, wanting to add the kitchen into their roster of home renovation, sure, I'll do the kitchens, but that's not my bread and butter. So that's why if you go on my website, you're not going to see a lot of kitchens, maybe one or two. And for that reason, if the client who is looking to get a kitchen renovated, they will never hire me, right? Because they're going to see that, okay, this girl, that's not her expertise. She has done maybe one or two, so she's not really, experienced enough to take on $100,000 kitchen renovation. So maybe I'm not going to go to her. I'm going to go to someone else, right? So that's why it's so important that you cater your Instagram page towards the services that you're really passionate about, and keep it focused on that. Don't try and dabble your hands into every tiny little things, like, this other girl that I was giving coaching to. She was located in Saudi Arabia, and I had asked her about, what kind of services she offers. And when I went to her page, she was basically doing everything, like a bit of everything. She was even doing pool design at one point. And then I told her, I'm like, you might feel like you're throwing a bigger net, which means you're going to catch more fish. But in our situation, we want to throw a very curated net that captures the salmon, that captures the tuna, right? We don't want the krill, and we don't want the tiny little thing. I don't know if that analogy is helpful or not, but we want to throw out a curated net, and we want to get a really good pool of clients that are specific to what we offer. And then the last thing in this kind of tactic is, the reason why this is helpful is because, again, the clients can expect what to get from you when they work with you. Okay, so let's look at an example then. So e-design is one of the 3 services that I offer in my business. So I offer an e-design service. I offer a consultation, which is just a one-time service. If you don't want to commit to a long-term partnership with the designer, but you do want a designer to come to your house and like look at, give you some ideas, give you some direction, then that's a one-time service that I offer. And then lastly, the third service that I offer is, of course, the full service package where we complete the renovation from A to Z. Okay. Now for e-design, I get so many questions, people asking me, what is e-design? What does it look like? Do you come to my house for an e-design? Or, I get all these questions. So that inspired me to just create a video about it. Okay, what's included? And then I'm gonna just refresh this page and I'm going to show you what I created so that you can see. Sorry, I'm just gonna refresh again. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, the reason I wanted to show this example is because it basically combines all of the tactics that I've talked about, right? It talks about the service, what we're offering. It has a really strong sales language incorporated in there, which says, this is what it is, hire us, there's a limited time offer. And then it has a call to action, which says, go to our website, link in our bio. It has a full sales driven approach to this post. So this is a really good example. Okay. And lastly, and this is, more so kind of a good to have. The tactic that I want to share is, as a designer, don't hesitate to share design tips with your audience. The reason why I've put that there specifically is because sometimes I do notice that designers tend to be secretive, right? They tend to be secretive with like a new store that they've discovered, or they don't want to share, this new like tip that they saw, or I don't know. I just sometimes get that sense and that vibe from certain designers that they keep everything very secretive in terms of the pricing or who they're going to get, this custom artwork made. I have a completely different approach, right? And you might notice this if you ever reach out to me on Instagram, or if you follow me there. I'm an open book. I love to share, anything new that I've learned. I love to share design ideas. I love sending people who are following me to the right stores and saying, hey, like Bath Depot is having a 50% sale. Like, go and grab your faucet from there if you've been wanting to upgrade your kitchen faucet for a long time, right? The reason for that, again, is because I'm just trying to build a community for myself online. I'm trying to build trust in my audience so that, at the end of the day, whoever's thinking about any sort of renovation, they're going to feel comfort in coming to me rather than going to someone else, right? That's what we're trying to really build here. We're trying to be that go-to person that they can trust and hire, and hopefully, we can build a very positive experience for them and give them a space of their dreams. Another thing that you want to continuously do on your Instagram is share before and after examples, right? Because again, so again, what I notice sometimes is that designers who become a little bit, more accomplished, they have around 5 years of experience under their belt. They only post the after pictures. And again, if that's working for you, great. Like, don't change that strategy at all. But if you feel that what you're doing is not working, maybe try different approaches and try different tactics. And that one of them could be before and afters, because people are obsessed with looking at before and afters. I'm sure if you go on YouTube and you're scrolling on the shorts, a lot of people are just doing before and afters. Even TikToks, they're doing before and afters. So make sure you do them in your pictures. Anytime you're able to show the before and after, you should do that. Just one example I want to show about the sharing the tip thing is here I've put in the caption, instead of going with the headboard, we decided to make one by installing a beadboard panel across the back, right, which gives the space a unique look and feel. So this is a perfect example. I could have posted this picture and I could have not shared that, right? But I felt like, what, this was a project in which we actually came up with a very cost effective way to upscale a bedroom and make it look custom. And that was by installing a beadboard. They're so cost effective. They come in like prefabricated sheets. All you have to do is just put them up and paint them, right? So this is a little tip that I'm sharing with people that are following me. And this is what I mean by not hesitating to do that as you are building your page. Okay, so that is mainly the 4 main tactics that I want to talk about. I know I talked about so many things, and if you guys have questions, we can go over them a little bit later. Just one thing I want to mention before we end off our workshop is that I do offer a one-on-one coaching service. It's basically a 1-hour session online with me that you can book. If you have any questions around interior design, around entrepreneurship, or you're just feeling overwhelmed on how to get started, then I can guide you in the right direction and hopefully give you some, quick tips to help you feel a little bit more secure and comfortable in pursuing this path for the long run. So you can definitely reach out to me if that's something that would be of interest to you. In terms of connecting with me, these are the best ways in which you can reach out to me. I am very active on Instagram. If you send me a direct message and it doesn't get lost in the general side, I will reply back to you. It might take me a little bit of time because I have a newborn, but I do get back to your messages. As I mentioned, I am a YouTuber as well. So definitely check out my YouTube channel and subscribe, because I post a lot of videos online around tips around how to have a sales strategy, how to, conduct a successful consultation, how to create positive working relationship with your clients, how to create boundaries. Those are all of the videos that I've made online, and I think it would be super helpful if you just have a listen to them. Lastly, you can visit my website, and this is my email address. I just want to put a disclaimer out here that my email address right now is not functioning properly, and I have no idea why. So I'm looking into figuring out how I can make my inbox function again. But please take a note of it so that in the next few days, when it's up and running again, you can reach out to me and send me an email for anything that you need. I'm just going to share my YouTube channel here so you guys can see what I was talking about.
And that's how I found you. I found you from your YouTube channel.
Oh, there you go. Yes. So I
She's
have
recommending Design Files. Let's get her on.
oh my God, you don't know how many people ask me, what do you use to create your mood boards? And I'm like, Design Files, guys, Design Files, Design Files. I'm like an ongoing record.
Love it. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. That was really great. I really appreciate, the examples for each kind of specific point. And I feel like it's such an important conversation because as followers, we don't know what people's offers are, right? Like I remember this like really cool, like kind of like therapist, the guy that just does workshops, he doesn't do one-on-one stuff. I would always love his posts on Facebook. Like it was very like cool, like kind of like poetry. And I'm like, man, this guy is deep. Following him for years, but I'm like, I didn't know that he does workshops, right? And then finally like posting at a workshop, I'm like, oh man, I love it. Like I would have done something sooner, right? So it's like when people are following service providers, they could just think it's like inspiration account or, so I think it's really important, everything you've shared, to like, people are really not aware, and they're not necessarily going to click through to your profile and look at your website. They're just on their feed, so it's so important to have those.
And we're so used to having information given to us instantly that we no longer spend the time and looking and going on the website, looking through the different pages, right? We just want to have the information given to us right away. So if I go on someone's Instagram page and I'm able to see right away, oh, okay, she does like home renovations, okay, great, then I'm more likely to go with you than with someone else who doesn't have that information available.
Yeah, exactly. So the first video that you shared, a couple people asked, how did you create that concept to reality? And how did you create like the bathroom elevations?
Oh, okay. I think they're asking about the programs that I used.
Yeah, yeah.
So for all of my 3D drawings and modelings, I use SketchUp. It's something that, you can use AutoCAD and there's other, I guess, programs out there. There's Foyer as well, FOYR. But I just find that SketchUp should be your go-to as a designer. So if there's any type of skill that you are trying to learn, invest your time in learning how to use SketchUp, because it helps you build those elevations and it helps you create a 3D model, which then helps visualize your clients on what you're presenting to them. In terms of putting that video together, I did it on Canva. Canva is my go-to, content creating platform.
Okay, great. And then somebody wants to know what you charge for like a standard design package, if you're open to sharing.
Yeah, I can definitely share my e-design service, because full service is so dependent on what the client wants. It's not a one glove fits all kind of thing. So for full service, the price can range anywhere between $1,000 for like one space and go up to more if it's like a kitchen that has a little bit more of a complicated, plumbing, electrical, flooring, everything. So that one varies. But for e-design, I have a standard one price per space package, which is dollars a room, and that includes, as I mentioned in that video, a furnishings and decor plan, a floor plan, and a shop link. So it's very like hands from a designer's perspective, it's not so involved. Like the client manages the shopping, the client manages the execution. We're just there to provide them with a design concept, and then they go off and do it on their own.
Okay, that makes sense. And then another question is, how do you create or record a scrolling video?
Say that again. I think your voice broke up.
How do we record a scrolling video? Maybe that was like a screen share video. Is there something that was like scrolling?
How do I record a scroll video?
Yeah, that was around minute 42. So I don't know if that was related to one of the videos, but we can skip it.
I think they're talking about. So I basically so if you go, like I use a Mac. So on Mac, there's QuickTime, and on QuickTime, I can just, record my screen. And so when I hit record my screen, I do the scroll with my mouse, and that's just how I get that footage.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So it looks like, we're having internet problems, because I guess it cut out. People didn't hear what you said for the exact design fee, the exact price. It cut out. So could you say that again?
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of like I'm getting cut too. Can you hear me still fine, or is it still breaking?
Yeah, it just kind of like pauses sometimes.
Okay. So for e-design, it's a standard package that I offer for one room so one per space, which is $500 a room, and that includes a furnishings and decor plan, like a whole design, and then a shopping link. So the customer or the client is responsible for executing it on their own, purchasing and doing everything. We're just here to present them with the design, and then they go manage it on their own.
Okay, got it. Thanks. And then this is a really good question because you're obviously, have a lot going on. So how do you manage your time with designing, social media, YouTube, all of that?
How do I manage my time?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So at the beginning, I must say it was very challenging because social media was new to me, in a sense that my personal page, I would post maybe once every 3 months. And then when I started to launch my business, I made a commitment to myself that I would post every day. And by posting, I mean not on my feed, but just even on my stories. Like at least once a day, I wanted to come online and be active on my Instagram page. So that was definitely challenging. But as I mentioned, I started using the tools that helped me manage my time properly. So one of the tools is called Planoly, and I don't know, Diana, if you want to send
Yeah.
that to them. So Planoly is a really good scheduling app for Instagram specifically, because it gives you the visual of the grid. So you're able to move your pictures around and see, okay, aesthetically, are they working well? Because I'm really anal about that. Like if I like my Instagram page, if it doesn't flow from one picture to another, it really bothers me. So Planoly helped me in kind of, shuffling the pictures around ahead of time. So I know, okay, on Friday, this bedroom is going to go up. And then on Sunday, this bathroom is going to go up, so that there's not two bedrooms side by side, So that's a really good app to use. And in terms of like YouTube, I just want to say that it's not for everyone. Like I'm not here encouraging everyone to start a YouTube channel. It requires a lot of work and time, and definitely with a newborn, it has become so difficult for me to post frequently. Like I posted a video just 2 days ago, and that was after like a month. So because you have to, find the time to record, then you have to edit, and then you have to upload. So when you're uploading on YouTube, it's not a single click. Like there's a lot of parameters that you have to put on YouTube. You have to create a thumbnail. You have to put in keyword searches. You have to put in an end. There's just a lot. So it is definitely not something that is meant for everyone. But if you have a skill and a knack for it, then by all means tap into that field as well.
Right, right. But Instagram, you feel like is probably a lot less work.
Oh yeah. The thing with Instagram is that once you get the hang of it, it becomes really easy. Like at the beginning, when you're just starting, you're gonna feel like, oh my God, like I only have 5 followers. Why aren't my followers going up? But you have to be very patient and you have to give it time. Like I remember when I first started, I was on my Instagram all the time, and that was really bad. Like I don't encourage everyone, but I was obsessed with like my numbers growing, right? I was like, why I posted this picture, why didn't I get the likes? But then I had to just stop, and I had to be like, you know what? This is a long-term commitment. I'm not here to get immediate results. I'm here to get a long-term commitment. And I've been on Instagram now for 4 years. And in 4 years, I've gained 4,000 followers, which is not a huge amount. But you know what? I'm happy with what I've gained, because people who following me are very genuine. Like they're actual people. They're not one-time clickers. They're not one-time followers. They're people that I converse with. I have people from India message me, and like the other day I was in StruckTube and I bumped into this girl, and she was like, oh, are you Sarah Adnan from YouTube? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I watched your video and then I came here and I, went to school and I got a job. Like, so these are genuine people that I've created a base of, and that's what matters more than just like a large number of followers.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It can be a little addictive at the beginning too, right? Those kind of
It's a learning curve, right? And you have to be okay with that. Like nothing's gonna come easy. That's even when I do my coaching service with people, they look at my growth and they're like, oh, like, how did you do it? And I tell them, I'm like, it wasn't easy, right? Like you have to be committed and putting hours in your business at the beginning, so that you can reap the rewards for it in the future, because it will pay off. Like at the beginning, you might seem like, oh my God, I'm just like burning out. But, that's just the cost of you being your own boss. Like at the beginning, in an entrepreneurial level, like you have to work Monday to Sunday so that in the next 2 years, you can work at your own time. You can be like, nope, I don't want to answer this call because it's 5 p.m. and I'm like going to a soccer match or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a long-term process.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we got a question about the software. I just dropped the link in the chat. It's Planoly, so it's PLANOLY.com. And yeah, that wraps us up for today. Thank you so much, Sarah, for this awesome presentation and all of the examples. And thanks everybody for joining us. Guys, you can find her at elevated-living.ca and of course on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I know I had a little bit of a internet disconnection near the end, but feel free to send me an email. Well, my email's not working right now, but feel free to send me a DM, and my website, you can reach me out through there as well, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.